to talk about that because, yeah, at all. So we're live now.
Out in space, there are places where gravity's influence is so intense that not even light can escape. These are known as black holes, objects with extreme gravity caused by extreme density that have an extreme influence on everything that gets too close. Often the subject of science fiction, black holes are science fact, but they're often misunderstood, as black holes aren't exactly holes. So let's investigate. What are black holes?
A black hole is an object so compact that not even light can escape its gravitational potential. That's exactly where the name black hole comes from. It's black because it emits no light.
Black holes used to be just a mathematical curiosity, but in the 1950s, 1960s, we actually realized they're out there in the universe. We know that there are black holes that have stellar masses that are born from the gravitational collapse, from the death of stars. We also know that there are much bigger black holes that sit at the center of galaxies.
The critical thing to remember about what happens with anything that's near a black hole is that black holes don't suck. You can orbit a black hole just as you can orbit any other star or any other massive object. Because there's so much mass in such a tiny volume, you can get a lot closer to all of that mass.
As matter falls in towards a black hole, it starts spinning faster and faster. It will naturally form into a disk. We call it this accretion disk because that matter will accrete onto the black hole. And that disk gets incredibly hot, incredibly bright.
A couple of years ago, we had the first image of a black hole, and that looked like a donut. But the donut was the matter around the black hole, and the black hole itself was just a dark, ominous void at the center.
Black holes have extreme physics going on around them, all sorts of crazy things happening. Your perception when you get very close to a black hole is that time is slowing down.
If a human traveler got too close to a black hole, they would first fall through, feeling nothing, until the point of spaghettification, where they would be stretched into a cosmic noodle.
When a star is passing by a black hole, one side of it gets greater gravity than the other, and so you get this very stretching effect. And so the star can be torn apart. This is what's called a tidal disruption event.
What could be inside of a black hole? The most commonly accepted answer is a point of infinite density that we cannot really describe well. At this particular region within a black hole, all of our theory of general relativity breaks down.
There's all sorts of ways of finding black holes. You can find them from their emission at certain wavelengths, like in the X-rays. We can see them in the optical and the ultraviolet and the infrared. Various NASA missions have been great at finding black holes. And then more recently, the really exciting way to find black holes is when two black holes merge. They create ripples in space-time, and you can detect that from gravitational wave observatories.
One big mystery about astronomical black holes is how the large supermassive black holes that exist at the center of almost every galaxy actually got to be there.
Another critical question is really what happens beyond the event horizon? What is essentially inside the black hole? The real reason we want to know about these, as interesting as they are on their own, they are all connected with our general understanding of the physics of the universe.
We're seeing black holes bigger than we had seen before. We're seeing black holes that weigh 100 times the mass of the sun. And right now the community's trying to figure out where they're created.
Einstein himself did not think such things would exist. Other people using his theory said we could have things like this, like black holes. And now it's become sort of a bread and butter kind of study on many levels to the point of us imaging them directly. I think it's one of the great stories of how science works, from pursuing ideas in terms of purely theoretical thought, but then observations coming in and then merging the two to have a better understanding of the universe.
The first black hole ever confirmed, Cygnus X1, was first discovered back in 1964 when astronomers identified high-energy X-rays captured by a sounding rocket. Since then, NASA has launched a number of different missions and studies to further investigate black holes. These have included NASA's Chandra X-ray Observatory, the Hubble Space Telescope, NuSTAR, the James Webb Space Telescope, and many more. These are just a few examples of NASA's continued efforts to expand our understanding of black holes. Thankfully, as humans living on planet Earth, we will never be close enough to any black hole, including the supermassive black hole at the center of our own galaxy, to ever be in danger of falling in. I promise.
Hello, everyone. This is Scott Roberts with Explore Scientific and the Explore Alliance, and this is you're watching day 2 of the 2024 Astronomical League Convention. Today we've got, or right now, anyways, we've been broadcasting since this morning. But right now we have Dave Walden, who's the vice president of the Astronomical Society of Kansas City, and he also happens to be the owner of Midwest Telescopes. He's there with Kent Martz right now. We're going to bring him on. Hey, Kent.
Hey, Scott, how you doing? How's things in Springdale?
Good, good. Nice weather today, you know.
It's beautiful weather
we had,
up here.
We had some adverse conditions, I think, last day or two, but
Yeah.
anyways, it's beautiful right now.
Yeah, you know, I was, I guess Monday or Tuesday, there were some places in Northwest Arkansas on the Ozarks got like 14 inches of rain in 4 hours. And you do the math on that. That's an inch every 20 minutes, Dave. Yeah. And it bad flooding. But you know, our hearts go out to anybody that has a disaster like that. But it's beautiful here in Kansas City. It's 79 degrees right now outside, although
Pretty nice.
we're inside. But we're having out at the Powell Observatory tonight. We're having a barbecue out there called a Starbecue. Nice play on words.
I've been to those before with the Astronomical League, you
Yep.
know, so they're nice, and they serve up a nice variety of food. I'm a vegetarian, so they even accommodate me, so that's got to say quite a bit. But I think the most important part about going to ALCon, aside from all the knowledge that you can get and the great speakers that show up, is you know, all the new friends and old friends that you see at ALCon.
Right. Well, I'm sitting here across from us in the ASKC booth right now. Our good friend David Levy, David, is over there signing his
Okay.
books, and which
Great.
he's got a very long line of people showing up to get his books. And
Sure.
David gave a great talk, based similar to the one when I interviewed him yesterday.
Okay.
Last night at the Linda Hall Library, which is the largest science and technology library in the world.
Now,
In the world. In
Ken-
the world.
Yeah, right.
Ken, did you go there last night?
Yes, went there last night. I
What
will
was
send
that? What was it like?
you, when you look at 400- and 500-year-old books,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and see original engravings from the first printing of Tycho Brahe's books or
Oh, wow.
Brahe's books.
Right.
And right there, and you know, if we washed our hands, we could touch them, but literally they just wash their hands, and the staff just turns the pages, and these books are in wonderful condition, Scott, because they're not made out of paper, they're made out of rag paper. And you know, newsprint today has acid in it, most paper has acid in it, and
Sure.
that acid makes it turn to dust eventually. These books, as long as they're conserved well and in a controlled environment, these books will literally last forever if they're careful with them. And it's just,
Hmm.
although Scott, I'll tell you this, the highlight is, as you know, David Levy gave all of his observing logs and a telescope and some other
Sure.
stuff to the Linda Hall Library. So it's there. And they pulled out the volume from the night that he and the Shoemakers discovered Shoemaker Levy 9, which
Oh, that's
was
cool.
30 years ago.
Yeah.
Crashed in, so they found it 31 years ago when it crashed into Jupiter, and it's very cool. I got pictures of it. I will send you those, Scott, so you can get them up
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you
yeah.
can broadcast. And some,
But let's turn our focus back on to
Yeah.
Dave here. Dave is
I get
he's
excited.
vice
Sorry.
president of the astronomy club there. It's a 100-year-old club. And he's owner of Midwest Telescopes. You must love astronomy and telescopes.
Yeah, I do. Actually, it's been something that I've been in love with since I was real little. So I grew up in Southern California. I live in Kansas City area now, but I grew up in Southern California, and I was just a few miles down Imperial Highway from the Rockwell International Facility.
Okay.
And as a Cub Scout, we actually got to go and tour the facility and see the models of the space shuttle and some of the lunar capsules and some of the other stuff that they had there as they were the manufacturers of it. So
Yeah.
really incredible. And the space program and the love of that actually got me interested in astronomy. You know,
Oh, that's
growing up in
cool.
LA, you don't get to see stars very much, but
You
going
have to
out,
go out into the desert for that.
yeah,
you
exactly.
know,
Going
so-
out to the city and
Enzo Borrego or somewhere like that.
yeah, just out near Joshua Tree, really.
Joshua Tree is
Yeah,
the
it's the
close
first
by
place where I
place.
saw him.
Yeah.
And it just really changed my life.
And now
Very
you
cool.
sell telescopes.
Now I sell telescopes. Yeah. So Kansas City, we used to have a really good store that was in operation for about 10 years. And then unfortunately, about 10 years ago, they shut down. So there really there's no place for people in Kansas City to buy telescope gear or to get their telescopes repaired or their mounts repaired. So I decided last year to just go ahead and take the plunge and provide an area for Kansas City to do that. And one of the things that's a little unique about Midwest Telescopes is every purchase that you make, a portion of the of the sale actually goes to the Astronomical Society of Kansas City as a donation to help further their mission with
Very nice.
education and science for the younger generations.
That's awesome. That's quite a commitment. And I applaud you for doing that. That's awesome. So, now you sell a whole variety of stuff, but you do sell some explore scientific stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
And you were telling me you had really good success with one of our packages that you sell.
Oh, those were incredible. The price points that Explore Scientific was able to set with those, just absolutely incredible to get people into it, especially just before the eclipse. Those were amazing. Great mount. The carbon fiber 80 millimeter with the light filter, everything ready to go. That worked really well.
It was the Exos 100, so our small go-to tracker with the carbon fiber wrapped 800 or 80 millimeter diameter, 640 millimeter focal length telescope. Comes with eyepieces, comes with a camera attachment to make it easy with one other purchase to attach your existing camera, and a solar filter that fits really nice and robust, easy to use. And so it's just, it works.
Yeah, one of the challenges on piecemealing these from different places is getting a configuration that works together and works well. And those bundles, everything just kind of made to work together, really just made it super easy for people to get into it and to just buy and go. And that was incredible.
Now, you took another step and your marketing, good idea. You enhanced it.
Yeah.
You added an Android tablet to the package.
We did,
Right.
Yeah, so we were able to add an Android tablet with the applications pre-installed so that it just made it that much easier.
Did you go ahead and get the tablet communicating with that mount? So
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So,
wow, okay.
so one of the things that we do is we walk through the entire operation of the scope with anybody that buys a telescope. We set up a time for people to come over and we go through, at all of the operation, and we show them the app and how to use it. Because it should be a learning experience. It shouldn't be, here you go, have fun. We want it to be an enriching and enhanced experience, and we don't want people to get frustrated with our coaching. So we really focus a lot on the services side as well.
Which is, now, obviously you have online sales as well.
We do.
And when you sell something to somebody in Seattle or Fond du Lac or wherever, how do you provide that support? I mean, obviously you can't do one-on-one, but you provide support. to
We
them,
do.
correct?
So we do email and telephone support, and we're also working on a series of YouTube videos. We haven't released those yet. Those are going to be coming out soon, where the idea is for us to walk through the entire operation for packages and bundles, so that we can provide that as a resource for our customers.
Yeah. So, what have you learned in the year you've had the store?
That, I would say that there is a lot of young people, and this actually surprised me. There was a lot of young people that are very, very interested in getting into astronomy, into telescopes, and have a lot of really good questions and just don't know where to begin. So a lot of our focus recently really has been on how to choose the right telescope for people that are just getting started, based upon, do you live in an apartment, how much space you have, and we get a lot of parents that reach out to us saying, my son or daughter is very, very interested in astronomy, but I don't know where to start. And those are my favorite type of people to talk to, because it's not just about the fact that, hey, here's a potential purchaser. It's, hey, here's a young person that is extremely interested in beginning and learning about astronomy, and that part excites me a lot, because in a lot of ways astronomy needs the younger generation. Definitely there's people that are looking at making it a career, and a lot of those are going to go through astronomy programs with their colleges and get into those associated fields. But for me, it's the people that aren't going to do that really want to pursue it as a passion hobby that I really enjoy, and really enjoy working with. So I love those types of reach out for that. And we're actually starting a youth program through the Astronomical Society as well to help really kind of foster that.
So that, you live in a Kansas City MSA is what, 3.2 million-ish people?
Yeah.
You've got a bunch of people to draw from, and while it may not be that many percentage-wise kids who are interested in it, because you're drawing from 3.2 million people, you could have a pretty good organization fairly quickly to foster those kids' interest in science, interest in astronomy, and they may not have a career in it, but they may see you set up a video rig like this and think, hey, video's pretty cool. Or they like the mechanics of a focuser and they figure out mechanical engineering. So astronomy is a gateway.
It really is.
Science that just, it's astronomy umbrella, but there's all sorts of other sciences that are involved.
Yeah, that's a very good point. One of the other things that's interesting too about the Kansas City area that I think is different than a lot of other larger metro areas is that we also have a lot of rural, areas in Kansas City that comprises the metro. So even though we the skies are less than optimal, in downtown Kansas City or in the surrounding area, we also have a lot of farmland, just 30 minutes, 40 minutes south, and that have great skies, and we're getting a lot of interest from those areas as well, because they can see stars and they ask a lot of questions. What are those? What is this mean? And we really love it.
So you can go west and east and north as well. I'll go north, you start hitting St. Joseph, Missouri.
Yeah,
But you go east, there's nothing, go south, go west, within a good interstate system allows you to get out of town really quick,
really
any
quickly.
direction.
Yeah, well, especially for someone like me that grew up in Los Angeles, it takes you an hour to go 5 miles. But
Yeah.
so yeah, it's
An hour here will get you 80 miles.
yes, it
Yeah.
would.
As long as you're not driving in rush hour, you've got 70 mile an hour, you can be 70 miles away from this spot. Because the interstate from here is just right over
It's just-
there.
yeah,
It's
it's
just
right
just
there.
right over there. And as I said in an earlier interview, Kansas City is a really well laid out city with a really well developed good interstate system.
Yeah, it really is. And we're starting to get there from a public transportation perspective. Oh, thank you.
David Levy just
Yeah.
walked up and handed
And
Dave a book.
Gave me a book.
So we'll make a pitch
Hey, you want to say,
in and say hi.
Yeah. I survived that lecture last night.
That he gave.
And, in the middle of the lecture, everyone's sticks and axes and things like that. And there was a polar bear that walked in and attacked me. And but other than that, it went very well. I got a standing ovation, and I think it was a very successful night.
it definitely was.
It was.
Yeah. Thank you very much for actually being a part of this. We're honored to have you.
Well, thank you. And I decided to say,
Thank you. I appreciate it.
so after you're done, I'll autograph it.
I appreciate
So-
it. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
thanks for letting me interrupt.
Oh,
Dave, David, you may interrupt anytime,
Anytime.
anywhere. You,
that is your right.
you have earned that privilege, sir.
Well,
So,
I actually had the privilege of picking him up from the airport. I'm actually one of the event coordinators for this ALCon, since Kansas City we're hosting it, and the Astro League works with the local astronomy clubs for the setup. So I actually, like I said, had the honor of picking up him from the airport and spending some time with him. It was really great.
if you ever get the chance to anywhere close to go see David Levy speak,
Do
you
it.
need to do it. It's
Yeah.
an absolute treat if you love astronomy. David Levy is a wonderful human being. He's freely giving of every minute of his life to astronomy and astronomy evangelization and outreach. So just a fantastic person to get to see.
Yeah, and one thing I would say is the presentation yesterday, especially, the focus wasn't on the science behind Shoemaker Levy 9. It was the passion and it was the
Yes.
emotion and the feeling, and that was just incredible. I mean, that was obviously a very famous event, and I feel like it probably got a lot of people really interested in astronomy,
It did.
especially at the time.
It did.
And here's the man that was part of the of the discovery of this, looking at his logs, telling us what was going through his mind and how he felt and what that meant to him internally, and just hearing those kinds of personal stories, it's just incredible.
Yes. The story about when he was looking at the ephemeris, which is the tables that show its orbit, and he gets down to delta J, which is Jovian, and the number was smaller than the diameter of or the radius of the planet, and the realization that meant it was going to be a collision.
Yeah,
It just sort of gives you goosebumps to think about.
It does.
And he also told the story of when he called his friend at an observatory to check it out, and the last time he did it, he got in trouble, but said try and sneak it in, and then they get back in touch. And he's like, I'm not just doing this tonight. I'm doing this every night for the next month. It turned out he did it every night for the next year, and he
yeah.
did not get in trouble for doing that because it was such an amazing thing. So I'll give a pitch while we're talking about the book, and I'm gonna have you don't carry his book, correct?
No.
Okay, so Starizona, an astronomy shop out in Tucson, Arizona, carries his books. If you're interested in getting one from him, you can order them online. And I suspect because Starizona is there, if you called them and asked for an autographed copy, they could probably arrange it at some point, although I don't want to speak for them. But if you ask, I bet they can work it out.
Worth a try.
Because they're a couple miles from David's home, and it could probably work out if you ask them to. So we do have a lot of great dealers. Dave Walden is a new one. He's moved some pretty good product in a short period of time. And we value our dealers immensely. We have another one here, and you guys are friends, talking to each
Yep.
other. Mile High Astronomy from the Denver area. We'll be talking to Soren this afternoon. And there's a lot going on in the industry. Soren is doubling the size of his store.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah, the place, the slot next door in the strip mall he's in had been vacant. He's leased it, and he's expanding the store there. I hope that happens to you. I hope that your success here
Thank you.
gives you the ability to move out of your wife's basement. Are you married?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope you have the ability to move out of your wife's basement and get a storefront someday.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, let's hope.
So anyway, Scott, any questions come up from the online audience? Comments? Or
No questions, but it's always good to know who the local, telescope shop guy is. And it's very heartwarming to me to know that that you're actually involved in the amateur astronomical community. There are people that are involved in this business who, it's a 9 to 5 job. They get in, they get out, that's it, but roll up your sleeves and to really work with the community the way that you have is commendable. And we thank you for that.
Yeah, no, it's been an honor to be part of the Astronomical Society and to be part of the Greater Astro League. So it's been
And
great.
thank you for also being an Explore Scientific
Oh, of course.
dealer.
Guys
Thank you.
You guys are
Thank
amazing.
you. Okay, I think that's it.
appreciate you. Thank you for
All
your,
right.
Of course.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
Thanks, Scott.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yep.
You've got more speakers to come.
Yep.
Here will be all day with at ALCon 2024 in Overland Park, Kansas. And Kent, thank you very much. And we'll sign off for right now.
See you after all, Scott. Bye, everybody.